In today's video, we're gonna cover 5 different channels that you can use to sell your woodworking projects. Let's get started. Recently, I made a video about 5 woodworking projects that have sold extremely well for me. And you can check out that right up here if you're interested in watching that video. But several people commented and said, okay, I get what sells well, but where does it sell well? That is the question that I want to answer in this video. Number 1 on the list is gift shops or local stores. Over the years, I've placed my woodworking projects in several gift shops or local stores or local shops that display the work of local artists. And this can be very, very nice because it's extremely hands-off. I don't have to sit around waiting for a customer to walk in. The shop handles all of that. All I have to do is take my products, drop them off at the store, say, hey, I want to charge $20 or $50 or whatever the case is, and leave, and they write me a check whenever the projects sell. Very hands-off, very, very nice. Here's the downside. In my experience, most of the shops that I've worked with charge between 20 and 40% commission on the projects. So if I sell something for $100, they're taking between $20 and $40 of that right off the top. And in some cases, 40% is my margin on a project. And so in some of these cases, I really am not making any money at all. So while gift shops can be nice because they're extremely hands-off, it can be really, really tough if you're truly not making any money. Here are a few suggestions I have with gift shops. If you can find a gift shop that's charging about 20% commission, you can probably find some woodworking projects where you can still keep a margin higher than 20% so that it's worth your while to sell your products in that shop. Another thing you can think about is, do you know someone who owns their own gift shop? Maybe you're a good friend of theirs and they would be willing to help you out and give you a discounted commission rate, especially if you're just getting started. It never hurts to ask. Remember, you can always negotiate these things with the shop owner. But a gift shop can be a great way to get started and a great place to sell your woodworking projects. Channel number 2, Facebook or Instagram. Now this is actually how I got started selling my woodworking projects. I think this was back around 2020. I decided that I was going to make my own Instagram page that was strictly devoted to the woodworking projects that I was making and selling. And I am a huge fan of this approach, especially if you're just getting started. Here are the pros of selling to Facebook and Instagram followers. Number 1, chances are, especially as you're first getting started, these are going to be people who know you, and they're probably going to be people who love you and want to support the side hustle or small woodworking business that you are starting. And so they'll be more likely to buy something from you as opposed to from someone that they might not know. Another huge pro about selling on Facebook or on Instagram is that there is no commission whatsoever. So if you sell a patio furniture set for $1,000, obviously you have your material cost and your labor cost and all that, but you are getting the full $1,000. You're not having to pay a commission to anyone. The con of selling on Facebook or Instagram is that you're gonna probably be pretty limited to a local audience. It's probably just going to be friends, family. It can slowly start to grow, but you're going to be limited to selling to people who know you or follow you on Facebook or Instagram. And also, if you're selling bigger products, it's going to be really hard to ship those things all over the country. And so you might be limited to only sell to people, especially if you're selling bigger projects. You might be limited to only selling to people that you're willing to make a delivery to. So maybe a 25-mile radius or a 50-mile radius, or something like that. Channel number 3 is craft shows. Now, disclaimer, I'm a huge fan of craft shows. Like, just as a consumer, there's a lot of craft shows in the area that I live. And so my wife and I, we really enjoy a nice Saturday morning, grab a cup of coffee and go to a local craft show and see all the different booths that are out. It could be anything from pottery to ceramics to paintings to, you guessed it, woodworking. And I have set up a booth at many different craft shows. Here's a few things that I have learned. Number one, craft shows can either be a home run, grand slam, huge success. There's been some craft shows that have been like that for me. And then other craft shows can be absolute duds. One of the best craft shows I went to, I was selling products so quickly that myself, my wife, and a helper that I had, we could not get to customers quick enough. I think we sold about $500 every hour worth of product. It was a great success. Probably the worst craft show that I ever did, I wasn't even at, and I hired some friends to man the booth for me. I said, hey, I'll pay you $200 for the whole day if you man the booth for me. And I think that whole day I only had $250 worth of sales. So basically I made zero money that day. So why are some craft shows amazing and some craft shows duds? I believe that you need to do a lot of research in determining if you're going to go to a craft show. Generally speaking, woodworking products are going to sell at a higher price point. And so if you go to a craft show that it's just not as nice, maybe it's a little more flea market variety, people are not going to want to shell out $50, $75, $100 on some of the products that you are making. They might be at a craft show that's geared more toward lower price point items like t-shirts and keychains and things like that. So my recommendation is find craft shows that are nicer, that are geared to clients who have a little bit more spending money, and you'll be way more successful there. You might pay more for a booth at a nicer craft show, but trust me, it is worth it. If you're gonna pay $25 for a booth at a craft show that is not a well thought of craft show, it's not going to be worth your time. One more power tip for craft shows that I've discovered is that you want to have some products that are lower price point. Think coasters, succulent planters, small cutting boards. Things in that $20 to $40 range are great because people who are at craft shows, sometimes they're gearing up for Mother's Day or Father's Day. They're wanting to buy lots of gifts for people on their list. And so if they see something that's at a lower price point, they can be more likely to pick up that. And they can also learn about you, your business, your brands, pick up a business card, and maybe make a repeat purchase in the future. Before we look at the last two areas where you can sell your products to make money woodworking, if this video has been helpful for you, hit the like button. It just really helps me out. And then also subscribe, because we're always talking about how you can make money with woodworking on this channel. So if you're interested in that, subscribe. It'll just keep future videos where you can find them easily. It's totally free. Anyways, let's get on to number 4. Number 4, something that I'm just now getting started with myself, but it is selling on an e-commerce website like Etsy. Now, like I said, I'm just getting started myself with my own Etsy shop, and so I'm kind of experimenting right alongside all of you who might be just wanting to start on Etsy. And if you want to check out my Etsy shop, there's a link down in the description of this video. You can see what I'm kind of experimenting with right now. But here are 2 power tips that I've learned so far, and if you want to know power tips in the future, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I'll drop those as I learn them. But here are 2 things I've discovered about Etsy so far. Number 1, sell items that you can batch. When Etsy first got started, it was probably people like you and I who were making things in their garage or in their basement and then selling them in very small batches. But as Etsy's grown, I think a lot of bigger businesses have started selling through Etsy, and so they're making in bigger batches, their margins are higher, and so they can sell their products at a lower price point. So it makes the competition on Etsy pretty stout. To combat this, I would only sell products on Etsy that you can make in batches, which will keep your margins higher. So for example, I think Etsy is the perfect platform for things like cutting boards, you can make those in batches. Coasters, you can make those in batches. Succulent planters, you can make those in batches. A lot of the things that I talk about in this video about how to make woodworking projects that sell. I would not try to advertise custom products on Etsy, like a custom live edge coffee table that you're going to make to order. I just don't really think that's the best platform for that. Maybe I'm wrong. Number two, make sure that you can sell items on Etsy that you can ship easily. So this, with woodworking, is probably going to speak to the size of the item. It's going to be very tough for you to make a dresser or a bookcase and then deliver that on Etsy. I mean, maybe you found a way to do it, but I have not. And so I would think through, what items can I ship inexpensively and effectively and still make money and keep my margins high. Those are the products that I would lean into if I'm selling on Etsy. And number five, the fifth channel you can use to sell your woodworking projects, it is B2B, or business, you selling to another business. Again, this is something that I am just getting started with, but I believe there is a lot of power in selling B2B. What are some businesses that you could sell to? When I think about B2B, specifically with woodworking, I think about selling to mortgage lenders, real estate agents, people who might give your products to their clients as closing gifts. You could also sell to restaurants, B2B. But what's so nice about selling business to business is because that business is finding clients of their own. That real estate agent is finding clients of their own. And so they can reach out to you and say, hey, I've got 5 more closings next week. Can you get me 5 more cutting boards for closing gifts? Or that restaurant can say, hey, we're opening up a new location and we need 5 new coffee tables. Can you get us 5 new coffee tables in April of this year? Whatever the case is. They are growing their business as well. And so if you partner with them, your business can grow with their business. It's a great model. It's one that, once again, I'm just kind of getting into more and more currently. And so as I learn more about this model, I'll make future videos and share with you guys what I am learning about business to business selling. So there you have it. Those are 5 places where you can sell your woodworking projects. Now, if I have left something off the list, please let me know in the comments. Your feedback, honestly, it was your feedback in the comments that inspired me to make this video. So let me know in the comments, what did I miss? And then once again, if you are looking for projects that sell well, if you're looking for the what and not the where, then check out this video because I talk about what sells well in that video. Hey, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in this video.